Let's go down to Rupert Bell's neck of the woods, though. He's talked to Royal Correspondent, of course. He's at Royal Ascot this week. Rupert, very good morning to you.
Morning, Mike.
Good to see you. Kate dropped out of Ascot yesterday, the Princess of Wales, as she sought to find the right balance. Was it more of a sort of a PR blunder, this, than anything else? Because it was announced, wasn't it, that she was going to ride in the carriage with her husband, William, and then suddenly it was withdrawn rather quickly.
Yeah, the original carriage list always comes out every day at midday, and the original one said that the Prince and Princess of Wales would be in carriage number 2.
Right.
And with obviously the feature race on day 2, the Prince of Wales is stakes, so it was probably always assumed that William would be on hand to make the presentation for the race, which in the end he duly did. But at 12:18, and I was actually talking to somebody who does a lot of work on the royal procession and broadcasts it, suddenly someone burst up to him and said, "It's all changed." And that was 18 minutes later to say that the Princess of Wales is not coming. A statement was released saying that she was disappointed. Obviously, recently we've seen her at the Trooping the Colour. She was at the Garter ceremony in Windsor on Monday. And obviously on Wednesday, she then says, for whatever reason, that she didn't feel up to being part of the royal procession. As we know at the moment, it's extremely hot. She's still in her recovery process. And it's always been sort of indicated that she won't be making a stack full of appearances, but it'd be managed. But obviously it was disappointing and it just looked a bit messy.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been too serious because her mother was on hand at Ascot. She was there and with her daughter, with her daughter-in-law, I think. And then also, obviously the Prince of Wales was there. So it does sound like it's not too serious. It just felt that probably there was a bit of maybe an administrative cock-up somewhere within the palace circles as to what should have gone on.
Yes, it sounds like they'd already been told that she wasn't going to come, but somehow it leaked out into the wrong document or something.
More than likely. Probably they always know. They got a pretty good indication at the start of the week when people might be coming as part of the royal procession. So the original plan might have been. But presumably things might have changed in the morning, but the message didn't get quite through to the people pushing out the documents. So obviously, hopefully, we may still get a chance to see her, but I think that may possibly be unlikely. But the King and Queen are due to attend all 5 days of the meeting, which is into its 3rd day today, and it's regarded as the big day. It's sort of dubbed as Ladies' Day, Gold Cup Day for the purists. Ladies' Day for a huge crowd on hand, but obviously disappointing that the Princess of Wales didn't come because she does attract an awful lot of eyeballs as far as her appearance there and what she's wearing, etc., etc.
Yeah, of course. And meanwhile, all the King's horses, as it were, not doing terribly well. It's 0 for 2, as we say in the baseball parlance.
2-0. Yeah, 0 for 2 exactly. Fortunately, Reaching High didn't run quite up to speed on the first day, and yesterday's one flattered to deceive. But you never. It's extremely tough to have a winner at this royal meeting.
Yeah.
So in many people's cases, it's just a thrill to have a runner. But obviously, there is always a degree of expectation and sort of neutrals are hoping, because it does elevate the meeting if the monarch goes and has a winner. He did it 2 years ago with Desert Hero, but obviously it would be nice if he could have yet another one. I'm not sure whether he's got runners today or I'm sure that through the week I think there are 1 or 2 more due to run. But obviously, I think the one at the beginning of the week was regarded as perhaps his best chance.
Yeah, absolutely right. Now, I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you. We've managed to get a few more clips out of Meghan's latest podcast endeavour with Emma Greed. And I know that you've been watching this keenly, but I've got this from just the other day. Have a look.
I don't want to miss a moment for my children. And I love that I can do drop off and pick up at school and do meetings in between and go to Disneyland for 2 days, as we just did, and, volunteer to serve hot lunch at school or be the chaperone for the kindergarten field trip.
So good. You're making.
I
so
love
you have
packing
to
the lunchbox.
You do?
Yes, that's like.
Stop it, Meghan. No, you don't. Do you
Yes,
do?
I do.
Lisa, do you make shapes and make it look all beautiful? Is it a sprinkle situation? Are we putting?
Sometimes.
Oh my God.
I love.
My kids are all going to move into your house.
No, stop. I think, but look, to your point, that sounds ridiculous, but I love it. At the end of a long day, the kids are down to bed at 7. 7-ish, and I go downstairs, have a glass of wine. I'm doing their little lunch, but I find joy in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, parents up and down the country will be shaking their heads at that, won't they? Because obviously we've been doing it all wrong, Rupert. You know, you're supposed to be full of joy when you're making the lunches for your children.
Mike, I just want to say I thought this was a Meghan-free week for me, because here I am at Royal Ascot enjoying the finest of British racing, and yet you are like a torturer. You just make me have to listen to that in the first thing in the morning.
Oh, man.
I mean, there is so much within that podcast and things she's been saying lately that you just have to question. You know, she's saying that she was having helps out at a farmer's, they have a farmer's market stall.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we would have had PR pictures of her showing her selling produce in the local farmer's market. I think we have to take a lot of what she says with a pinch of salt. Who doesn't want to spend all their time with their children? Why does she think she's the only mother? Well, that's your problem, not mine. But why does she think that she's the only mother in town?
Yeah,
That's
I know.
what I think.
And also, why is she making such a big deal out of the things that ordinary men and women do all the time? Because it's what you do when you're a parent. You know, you take your kids to school, you pick them up again. You know, you actually make their lunch for them, put it in a box and hand it to them. You know, it's not anything special.
But this is the point. She wants to make it seem that she's one of us. But actually, she just at times makes herself look stupid.
Yeah.
Because we don't need to hear about all this. We don't hear about the Prince and Princess of Wales, about how every day they may be doing the school run. Look, where they go to school, it's not a million miles from Ascot Racecourse, not a million miles from where they live, but we don't hear anything about it. It's slightly strange.
It is.
That there's constant need to be seen to be relevant.
Yes.
And that's what I think is exasperating a lot of people. And you just think every day she's got to sort of answer back at something, because people, don't necessarily see everything she's saying to be 100%. There's maybe a lot of exaggeration at times.
Yes, I think that's a very, very generous way of putting it, Rupert. Very well played. Thank you very much indeed. And I apologise profusely for having to make you suffer through that this morning. Thank you very much indeed. Rupert Bell talks Royal Correspondent. You hear him on TalkSport, of course, later on today.